to creating a brighter future for all New Zealanders, including our most vulnerable.
Nikki Kay, 5 minutes.
I'm very pleased to speak in this adjournment debate. Can I start by acknowledging you? I do believe that you have been one of the best speakers in the history of this Parliament. I want to acknowledge you for your consistent patience, your grace and your good humour. I want to wish the parliamentary precinct a Merry Christmas, even the media. I also want to acknowledge some of my constituents in this House, David Cunliffe, Denise Roche, Winston Peters. My office is always open if you have any issues that you want to chat about. We are 4 years into this national government, and what is clear today, we have heard many a speech about credibility. But what credibility is about is not rewriting history. What credibility is about delivering for New Zealanders with costed policies that will make a difference to this country. Mr. Speaker, we were handed mission impossible. In Labour's last year of office, we were handed an economy with high inflation. We were handed unemployment that grew by 30,000. They had committed us to badly costed policies such as hundreds of millions of dollars paid for KiwiRail, ACC blowouts in terms of liabilities. We then had the deepest recession in a generation, and then we were hit by several tragedies, including Pike River and the Canterbury earthquakes. Canterbury alone hit our country. $30 billion has been the cost so far. Mr. Speaker, what have we done? We have done everything we can, day in and day out, to be fiscally responsible and work hard for our country. Our economy is growing at 2.6%. We're on track to return to surplus. We've halved our deficit from $18 billion to $9 billion. 65,000 net new jobs. 13,000 jobs created by the 90 trial period. But what is clear is that the opposition are living in a bubble where they are divided and they are in denial. They are still releasing uncosted policies, and David Shearer sits there. And I have a few questions for Mr. Shearer, because I come from Auckland. I have a lot of young people in my electorate that would like to get into a house, but what is clear is when they announced their housing affordability package, it was not only not affordable, but it was also it didn't even contain houses. I went looking in my electorate for tracts of land that were $50,000. I did find some, actually. They were the 3rd and 4th floor of the Victoria Street car park. That is where the Labour Party are in terms of housing affordability, Mr. Speaker. We need to do more. We must increase the supply of land. We must do more around resource management processes. But what was absolutely incredible was yesterday in the House, the first chance the opposition had to support some things around housing affordability, and they voted them down. 2 key provisions, one around the Auckland Plan and the other around medium consents for many subdivisions in New Zealand. And we saw them have an epic fail on the first hurdle. Mr. Speaker, when it comes to looking after our most vulnerable, it has been tough for so many New Zealanders. But what I can tell you is that whether it has been ensuring that entitlements are kept, we have increased New Zealand Super, we have implemented more than 30 initiatives to help some of our most vulnerable and at-risk children. We've established 7 teen parent units. We've put $15 million more to ensure vulnerable teen parents get the right support that they need. Within our welfare reforms, we've established a guaranteed childcare assistance payment so childcare costs do not stop young parents from studying. Mr. Speaker, when it comes to policies being costed, whether it is both from an economic perspective, RMA reform, infrastructure investment, whether it comes to helping our most vulnerable, our record is clear in the most difficult time period in a generation, whether it's been the deepest recession, the hit by Canterbury, Pike River, whether it's been the fact that we had to account for all of these blowouts, we have been delivering both from an economic perspective and for our most vulnerable. Mr. Speaker, if you contrast that, you have an opposition that are focused on slogans, that are focused on each other, that are divided, and what I am confident is not only do we have a Prime Minister who cares, who has delivered more for this country in a very difficult period, but that we have a united national caucus with costed policies that are ready to continue to deliver, to do the best that we can for New Zealanders, Mr. Speaker.
Grant Robertson.
Thank you very much, Mr Speaker. I'm not going to comment much on the speeches from the government.